This video will show you how to model a linear equation using your calculator. And at the end of this video, I will show you how to check and make sure that your equation does fit the two data points that are given, and also how to use your equation to make predictions. You'll know that you want to use this method when you're given two data points. So here we have 10 and 30, 20 and 32.8. If you're doing this by hand, what you would do is find the slope first, and then you would plug in the information. So you would plug in the slope for m, and then you would choose either data point, and this is your x, and your x would go here for x sub 1, and then 30 would go here for y sub 1, and then you would go ahead and solve for y, and then end up with the slope intercept form. But again, we can use our calculator, excuse me, and to do this, first thing we want to do is check our stat plot. In case you've been using it, you'd want to make sure up front that everything is off, unless you're going to go ahead and make a graph of the data, which we'll do later on. The quickest way to make sure that all these are set to off, so here I see this one's turned on, I'm going to hit number 4 and then hit enter, and then we can see that all these data points, or I'm sorry, all these stat plots now are off. Now next what we want to do is enter our data. So we're going to go to stat, so stat right here, and number 1 is edit. And then we're going to enter the data points, and you can see here that I've already entered them. So x is here, which is 10, and then y is 30, and then for the second point you put in 20 and 32.8. When you're entering them, you're usually entering the first column first, so you would enter 10, enter 20, enter, and then arrow over to the right, and then enter 30 and 32.8. Now to find the equation, we're going to go back to stat, but this time we're going to slide over to the right and choose calc, and then number 4 for linreg, or linear regression. Now this is just the standard mode of the calculator. You might have yours turned on to stat wizard, so if you're seeing up a few lines and then the word calculate at the bottom, you want to go ahead and scroll down to calculate and then go ahead and hit enter. If you have this option, you'll see linreg here. Once it appears on the screen, you're going to hit enter and the information will pop up. So now to interpret this, we have y equals, and then we're going to take 0.28, which is our slope. So this is another way you could find slope if you needed to. You could just put in the data points and then use your a for your slope. This is the same as m, but in statistics they use the letter a. And then we're going to use our x, and then plus, and here we have 27.2, which is our y-intercept. And then now we have our equation. So if it's just asking for the equation, you would be done. If you wanted to do a prediction, you would go to, actually let me go ahead and quit out of this. You could go ahead and put in 0.28 times, and then if you're predicting 2020, x is years after 1970, so you would take 220 minus 1970, which is 50. So we would go ahead and put in 50, so you can put times 50, or you can use parentheses, and then we would do plus 27.2. Okay, and then we hit enter, and then there's our prediction. So predicted median age in 2020 is estimated 41.2 years. Okay, so that's one way to do that. We can also go ahead and enter it in y equals. So you can see here I've already entered 0.28x plus 27.2, and we can go ahead and graph this. Now to graph this, you're going to go back to second, stat plot, and turn it on. So select number 1 and hit enter and tap it on, and then you can quit out of this if you like. And then you're going to do zoom, and then instead of using 6, which would give us a window going from -10 up to 10 for both the x and y axis, we need to adjust it because these numbers are a little bigger. If you use zoom 9 or zoom stat, it will do it automatically for you. It'll adjust the window, and then since we have our line over here, since we entered in the equation, it's graphing our line, and if you did it correctly, it will go right through both points. Now, to find our predicted median age in 2020, we could also do it by making a table. So we can go back to table set, and then 0, we'll start at 0, and then we'll go in increments of 10, because here we're going 10, 20, we want 50 years away. So then we can go to second table, and then look for 50, and here is 41.2. So this video showed you how to go ahead and model a linear equation with two data points, how to go ahead and make a prediction using this equation, and then also by graphing it, you can see whether your equation goes through both data points, which shows you that you did derive the correct equation.